So next theorem on basis is invariance of number of elements of a basis. So this states that any two bases of a finite dimensional vector space have same number of elements. So let us try to prove it. Let us suppose V over F is a vector space and it has two bases. Let me call first basis as x1, x2, xm. So it is having m elements, and a basis y1, y2, yn, that is it is having n elements. Suppose these two are bases of V over F. Now we are to prove that number of elements in V1 is equal to number of elements in V2. Now number of elements in V1 are m and number of elements in V2 are n. So we are to prove that m is equal to n. So first of all, let us suppose, if possible, m is greater than n. So now observe, B1 is basis. What is the meaning of basis? It is a subset of V. So all the elements of B1 are also elements of V vector space, are also elements of vector space. Alright, and now B2 is a basis, है ना? B2 is basis. It means all the elements of B1 can be written as linear combination of elements of B2, because all the elements of B1 are elements of vector space and B2 is a basis. The definition of basis says that all the elements of vector space can be written as linear combination of those elements. So I am writing the first element of B1, that is x1, as linear combination of, let me write this as beta 1 1 by 1, beta 1 2 y2 up to beta 1 n yn. You will just notice why I have used two coordinates, because I am having m coordinates on this side and how many elements in y, n coordinates on this side. So I have to use this. Alright. So similarly, this I am writing B2, beta 2 1 y1, beta 2 2 y2, and so on, beta 2 n y, and similarly the last element beta m1 y1, beta m2 y2, and so on, beta mn yn. Before proceeding to next concept, let me again recall this system Ax is equal to 0. As I have already discussed, this system always has a solution. It has x is equal to 0 solution always, and whenever rank of A is is equal to number of unknowns, in other words, when number of equations are equal to number of unknowns. Now whenever number of equations are less than number of unknowns, then this system always has infinitely many solutions, or in other words, it will have a non-zero solution. Alright, now let me come back. Let us consider a system of equations. I am making the equations from here only and changing the variable by writing beta 1 1 say z1, beta 2 1 z2, and so on, beta 1 n, this was beta 1 2, sorry, y in place of y I am writing z is equal to 0. Similarly, second equation, beta 2 1 z1, beta 2 2 z2 up to beta 2n zn, and so on. Remaining equations, I am just changing the coordinates and considering the system. This is now system Ax is equal to 0, if you can observe. So now look at this system and just see that I am saying this system always have non-zero solution. Why? If you look at this system, it will become beta 1 1, beta 1 2, beta 1n, and so on, beta m1, beta m2 up to beta mn, and unknowns are z1 up to zn, right, is equal to 0 0 up to 0, right. Now this is our matrix A that we recalled here. What is the possibility of rank of this matrix now? Rank of this matrix. This is a m cross n matrix, right? So we know by properties of rank is always less than or equal to minimum of number of rows or number of columns. Now we had already considered above that m is greater than n. So n is minimum among these. So rank of this matrix will always be less than or equal to n. Now what is n? If you can check from here or from here also, if you count, n is number of equations. So rank is always less than number of equations or number of unknowns. These zi's are unknowns only. So from here we can conclude that this system always has a non-zero solution. So if it have a non-zero solution, let us say it, this by mistake I wrote m. I had to consider system of m equation, not n equations. Okay, so same way you have to change this also. This is m1, this is m2 up to mn, and this also, this was 2 1, not 1 2, and this was 2 2. Everything is all right. This was not 1m, this was 1n. Okay, and this was 2m. Sorry for the error. So this is a system of m equations. This also please change. This is 1m up to mn. This is 2m, and this is 2 1. This is m1. All right, please change it. So now we have just observed that it is having a non-zero solution. Let the solution is k1, k2, kn. So let us put this solution here. So these equations will now become, I am putting the solution here. So these equations will now become beta 1 1 k1, beta 2 1 k2 up to beta m1 km. Next equation will be beta 2 1 k1, beta 2 2 k2 up to beta m2 km is equal to 0, and the last equation will be beta m1 k1 plus beta 2m, this was k2, and so on, beta, from here I am writing mn km is equal to 0. Now what I am doing now, I am multiplying first equation with y1, second equation with y2, and so on, the last equation with yn. Now check what this will become. This will become y1 beta 1 1 k1 beta 2 1 k2 and so on up to beta m2 km plus y2 beta 2 1 k1 up to beta this whole equation and adding these equations. Okay, multiplying with y1 y2 yn and adding beta m2 to km and so on. Last equation will be yn beta m1 k1 up to beta mn km. This equation is equal to 0. Alright, now if we rearrange by taking k1 common, so from first equation we will have beta 1 1 y1 and k1 is also here, so this will be beta 2 1 y2 and so on. Last equation again we are having this k1, this will be y and beta m1. And similarly, if we take k2 common, we will obtain from first equation what we will obtain beta 2 1 y1 and from second equation beta 2 2, I have not written here, beta 2 2 k2, so beta 2 2 y2 and so on. In the last equation we will have beta m2 k2 and this will be beta m2 y2 and so on. Similarly, last coordinate, let me take km common. From the first part I will have y1 beta m2, from second I will have y2 beta m2 km and so on. Y is right at the back side, plus it is okay, but in order to match the things, up to beta mn y n is equal to 0. Now look at this thing nicely. If I check this from here, what was this thing from here? Beta 1 1 y1, this thing was from, let me call this equation number 1 2 and up to how many equations? These will be m, है ना? So from equation number 1, value of this quantity is x1, right? Similarly, from equation number 2, from 1 2 and up to m, this will be k2 x2 and so on up to km xm is equal to 0. So what is this thing? Isn't it linear combination of x1 x2 up to xm? And we have already seen that these ki's are non-zero. Why these are non-zero? Just recall these ki's from where they appeared. They appeared from a non-zero solution of this equation, है ना? System of equations. So this solution is a non-zero solution. So at least one of ki is non-zero. By non-zero solution we mean at least one of ki's is non-zero. So linear combination of these vectors is equal to 0, out of which sum of ki's are non-zero. What does that mean? That means this set x1 x2 up to xm is linearly dependent, but this cannot happen. What was this set x1 up to xn? It was set b1. If you can recall, this was set b1. b1 was the basis. This is basis, but b1 is basis, so it cannot be linearly dependent. So it is contradiction. Contradiction to what? Contradiction to what we assumed. We assumed that m is greater than n. So m cannot be greater than n. Similarly, following the same lines, you assume m is less than n. Again you will obtain m cannot be less than n. So combining these two, only possibility is m has to be equal to n. That is, two bases will have same number of elements.